I tried to make 150,000 while I was on a cruise.
I knew it.
I gave myself, yeah. I mean, I get, he said I knew it because a lot of people, again, you're like, well, what's the day in the life look like for a day trader? And for you to be on a cruise overseas, you're like, well, how do you still manage trading and making money? And so on that video, I keep it very transparent with you guys for what I'm looking at, the markets that I'm trading, how many entries I'm putting in, my profits, my losses, and just what it's like for the psychology side, the mentality side. Talk a little bit about the coursework was involved in that, the mentorship, business funding, like all different things that I think as a rather a beginner entrepreneur or a person that really wants to get into trading, and 150,000 in a week is not a small number for a lot of people. So that should say a lot in itself.
Hustlers, how's it going today? I'm your host, Elijah Bilel with the Side Hustler Society. I say hustlers because in this season, season 3, y'all know we're really focusing on the lifestyle of someone who's full-time self-employed. Now, we already know that you can do certain things as a side hustle, but most of the things you can do as a side hustle, all you really need to do is crank up the volume and then you can do it full-time. But when you do it full-time, that might come with its own share of challenges, and that's what we talk about, particularly in this season. I'm glad to say that we have a guest for today, and it's going to be a little different because I've actually met another Elijah, and this is actually a different Elijah from the last time y'all heard me say that. In the Vid Summit stream, the Elijah I met that was also vegan at a Vid Summit that we talked about. That's kind of funny. No, this is a different Elijah. He's actually a day trader, and we've talked about day trading a few times on the Side Hustler Society, but we haven't done so from this perspective because, like I said, we're really focusing on lifestyle as someone who's self-employed. But Elijah Malone is an entrepreneur and is the CEO of Alpha FRX, a company specializing in mentoring individuals in day trading, providing online trading courses, and hosting a group chat for ongoing mentorship. Elijah is well known for his expertise in stocks and forex trading and has built a strong reputation for helping others succeed in financial markets. He is also an emerging content creator, quickly excelling on platforms like YouTube and TikTok, where he shares insights, tips, and motivational content. His work emphasizes practical strategies, financial literacy, and the importance of patience and discipline in both trading and life. So, with that bio being said, we talk about the day trading aspect in the show, but we really also talk about some challenges that may arise if you're day trading full time, and also if you're just self-employed. What are some challenges you might encounter? So let's go ahead and start the show. Let's hit that intro.
Welcome to the Side Hustler Society podcast, the place where you can find out more about the hustles that are best for you, and of course, make more money in the process. Elijah has been in the gig economy and freelance space for over 8 years and has done over 4,000 deliveries on Uber Eats. Has several video editing clients, many properties on Airbnb, runs multiple YouTube channels, and is the author of the best-selling book, The Anatomy of Financial Success. It's his mission to empower people with the tools needed to be successful. Now, welcome your host, the king of the side hustles, Elijah Bilel.
Okay, we are officially live. We're officially recording. I'm going to apologize to the audience ahead of time. I have never actually had a show with someone with my name. Yeah. So if I come off a little awkward, it's because it feels like I'm talking to myself, but I'm not. So y'all are going to have to bear with me, okay? Be a little patient with me.
Sorry, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm going to be saying, yeah, what's up, Elijah? Like, I feel like I'm talking to a mirror version of myself.
Yeah, never mind that we're actually both self-employed and we're both content creators. Like,
correct. Crazy how that works. It's the power of the name. Maybe that's what it is, man. That's what it is. Just meant for greatness.
You know what? It's funny you say that. I'll pull it up later because I don't have it prepared. When we first met, I said I hadn't. It's rare that I meet another Elijah, and it's true. But I did actually meet another Elijah at a conference called Vid Summit. and it's actually pretty crazy because he's a content creator too. I'm gonna put up the footage when we met. It's only we agreed to do a short, and it's only like 60 seconds long. I'll pull it up later, but all three of us have something in common, and all three of us happen to be doing well for ourselves. So I'm just saying.
Hey man, it's meant to be, and they were all doing content. It sounds like so. It's meant to impact people. Meant to be impacting. Shoot, I love it though.
Yeah, but you know what? While I pull up that footage, how's your day going so far?
It's going good, man. It's going good. Being a mentor is a big responsibility. You know, having calls, talking to people. I'm really big on mindset, so helping people become more consistent and disciplined is a constant battle that a lot of people face. And so that's a lot of the substance in the calls that I have with the students that I have. And I think whenever I impact them and they kind of have a different perspective, it helps me to help them understand that there's more to life than just what's in their bubble. So that's been mainly my morning, man. It's been busy. It's been busy. So just going.
Hey, busy is progress, right?
I know it. I'd rather be busy than be like, man, I'm just sitting here playing the game, sitting here watching the show, sitting here watching a movie. Like I love to stay busy. So that's big for me.
Yeah, speaking of games, are you actually interested in games like video games, or that's not really your forte?
Oh yeah, of course. My game right now is actually Watch Dogs 2. I kind of just recently got back into it, and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and step back into that space. I was like on and off with it for a little bit, but yeah, I'll be back into it now. So can't go wrong with games. You a sport game player?
You know, I used to, but they got too redundant. I used to be into the 2K series, but it just got too redundant for me. So I kind of fell off them, but I've always been in the shooters, third-person shooters mainly. But every now and then I might hop on Battlefield.
Okay. So you prefer Battlefield over?
Yeah, I'm a Battlefield boy. Now, I played Call of Duty, but I like Battlefield better.
Okay. I've heard a lot more the opposite, but I've heard that Battlefield always has better stories. So
you know what? Let's just be honest. Most people with first-person shooters, they don't pick up that game for the story. They pick up the game to smash some people online.
Correct. Which is why they prefer Call of Duty.
That's interesting. All I can say is Battlefield, the way the environment's always more destructible and you can plan a little more. That was always a little more appealing. Like a tank shoots a missile at a building, and it's still like not impacted at all. I'm like, what? Battlefield, no, that building can have a hole in it that you can get taken out by a sniper. It always seemed like more of a battlefield simulator, but I guess they really like the name, right?
It has more realism, sounds like, into the game.
I'm gonna put a pin in there because people are gonna be wondering, like, you gonna start a gaming podcast, Elijah? No, so let me fall back on that. But
okay.
You
already got enough channels going on.
Yeah, I did find that footage, so I'm gonna play it, but then we'll hop into the topic of the show of the other Elijah as we met. Okay, y'all, so Bid Summit just ended. Overall, it was pretty good, but I've encountered something that I've never encountered before, and I've met hundreds of people. Y'all know I'm the king of networking, and I met another Elijah. Not only is he named Elijah, but he is also vegan too. Did y'all hear me? I've never encountered that like ever. I bumped into other vegans. I bumped into other Elijahs, but not another vegan Elijah. So
shout out to Elijah.
I'm no longer one of a kind. But I'm gonna tag him on Instagram. Be sure to check his stuff out. And what's the name of the documentary you mentioned?
You can find me on YouTube at Elijah Lamar. ELIJAHLEMARD.
Hey, there you go. Check him out, and he's linked on the screen right now. I'll catch y'all later. Yeah.
So what you got, chat?
Yeah, so that's crazy. I said I'm no longer one of a kind. Now I feel like I'm no longer special because I done met both of y'all.
He said I'm no longer special. That's crazy. If anything, it makes you more special. You met people that are doing exactly what you're doing. It's just meant to be. You're on the right path. That's what it sounds like. Imagine me, Elijah. He's like, yeah, man, I'm just struggling with life. Like I'm not doing too well. Like, dang, man, you need to meet the other Elijahs. You need to go to the other universes, the parallel universe.
Are you gonna go and MCU on me? Like, they got multiple universes and multiverse, like Earth 616, that stuff.
Hey, man, I'm a Spider-Man fanatic. I will
Gotcha.
tell you that. So, yeah, I do a little bit of the Spider-Verse, a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay. But yeah, some people are probably wondering, okay, well, we kind of covered y'all talking about like y'all are alike, but in what ways are y'all alike? So people see that you're the CEO of Alpha FRX.
Correct.
Exactly. What is that? What type of business are you in?
So I mentor people about day trading. I've been day trading myself for about 5 years, and I became profitable 2 years into it. I think that a lot of people, you want to get into a space of learning about something, but you want to learn about it on your own. And so you go to YouTube, you try to do it by trial and error, and it takes you a lot longer than if you have someone with this experience already showing you what you need to do and what you need to learn. So I created my business to help people fast track their progress to actually learning how to become profitable. So that's what I do in that space. And so I've had that business for about 3 years now. Yeah,
Right. And that's interesting because you're 24, right?
correct.
Yeah. So you're pretty young, and I think it's more it's more acceptable nowadays. But a lot of people kind of have this fallacy, like in order for you to be like financially free, or let me stop using that. In order for you to not get to the point to where you don't have to work a job anymore, they think you kind of got to be like at the very least in your mid-30s. I've
Right.
always thought that was a fallacy because when I left the job market, the last job I had was a PA at Amazon, and I was actually 25. This was years ago. If anything, I think it's easier. Just you have to decide that that's not what you want. You want something more.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. A lot of people nowadays are very stuck on like, I'm just going to work a job until I need to retire. Or they're the opposite. And they're like, I'm not going to have a job and I'm just going to try to figure it out. And sometimes those are the best people to meet, in my opinion, because those people have a very like open mentality about entrepreneurship and about like opportunity. Other people are like, I'm just going to work at Walmart until I'm 42. Hopefully I get a good raise and a good job position, and then whenever I have my family and I need to like settle down and retire, then hopefully I have enough saved up. So you have like two sides of the spectrum, I think, when it really comes to that.
Yeah, especially this season inside of Society season 3, we're really focusing on lifestyle as an entrepreneur or someone that's self-employed full time. That's
Yeah.
something we're diving into pretty heavy in this season. Swinging back to the trading aspect. So, what I got to ask you this: like, what platforms do you use to day trade? And is there a particular reason like you chose to use this platform over like all the other ones? Because I know there are a few different platforms that you can use to day trade, right?
Correct. So whenever I started, I was using one called Hugo's Way. After a little while of me using it, I learned that it wasn't a regulated broker. And then I went over to a broker called Sway Market, which eventually became Liquid Broker. And I actually just recently transferred over to a new one called Genesis FX. And so the reason I'm using the one now is because they have really good referrals. They also have really good commissions. They're also very good with payouts, like the very quick withdrawals and stuff like that. They also have this cool feature, which is a new feature called a 10x account. So they have it where you can put money into an account and then give you 10x of the amount in that account. So if you put in $100, they give you $1,000 worth of account for you to be able to trade with, which is really good for new and beginner traders that don't have a lot of capital to trade with. Which I find running into a lot of people that are like, I want to put some money into it, but I only got $50 or only got $100. So it makes it easier when you can trade with a bigger amount, So Genesis FX, that's the one I'm using right now, and it's very, very smooth.
So the shortened version of that is you're not loyal when it comes to platforms, are you?
Yeah. I look for
I don't think there's anything wrong with it given the situation. It's just a better platform comes with more tools or features that you can leverage. So of course you're gonna go there, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I was with Sway Market for like 3 years. And I was with Hugo's Way for like a year and a half. So like that's what I'm saying. Just recently, I finally transferred over to Genesis. But it's been nice for sure.
Got you. Okay. You said something pretty big, in my opinion, and we talk about this on this podcast. But you said they have a pretty good referral program. If you're going to be doing something on a regular basis, and then you're going to start helping people do that same thing, you should start thinking like an affiliate. Like, okay, well, how can I make money off this opportunity? Because you're going to be doing it anyway. How can I monetize it?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like there are platforms that their advertising budget, a big portion of it is reserved just for affiliates because they realize that they get the most longevity out of, I'll say, the lifetime value of a customer if it's a referral. So they're willing to incentivize the referee to move that process along instead of advertising on TV, on cable TV, which I'm actually genuinely surprised that anyone even watches that nowadays.
Yeah,
given the amount of streaming apps that we have. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I would say that a lot of people who start day trading, like they have their reservations about like going like full time. And I know you have your own company now, but even prior to that, like what made you take such an interest in day trading to the point that, hey, you feel like you could actually support yourself full time doing this?
What do you mean?
Like before you started your business, like you were day trading, right?
Yeah.
And you were full time when you were day trading eventually, right?
Yeah.
So was that part of the game plan, or did you see this potential in this and decide, you know what, I can do this full time?
No, that was the full game plan. Even when, so I had, what was it? To give a little backstory. So basically, I lost my job during Corona, and I was working at that job for 4 years. At that time, I was working at CC's.
Gotcha.
I was over there being a manager, flipping pieces. Chat. Everybody got to start somewhere in it. I was over there, but yeah, I was working there for 4 years, basically for my whole high school career. And once I got let go, I was like, man, like, how can I make money? Because people, I've seen, wholesaling and what's that called? E-commerce and stuff like that, day trading. So I'm like, people are still making money while I'm sitting at home playing Fortnite. Like there's money still somewhere to be made. So I kind of had like a little peek into it. And I was like, well, I still need money to be able to invest into those things. So I went to go get a job at Walmart. Got hired, and then I got let go because they were like, we hired you as a temporary, which I didn't even know that's what I was signing up for. So I'm working a normal day, like, man, today's gonna be a good day. Walk in, they're like, hey, come to the back. Hey, by the way, today's your last day. I'm like, what's going on? Am I in trouble? They're like, no, your contract is up. So that day I literally leave. And my aunt had texted me, or she had called me, and she was like, hey, there's this thing called day trading. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'll check it out. I've heard a little bit about it, because when I heard about it before, and it was literally that day I got let go, but I've heard about it before, but I was like, people are just trying to like scam, the big thing that everyone else thinks about, like it's a scam, can't really make that much money quickly. And then you come to a point where you're like, okay, well, my aunt's telling me this, so this must be a real thing. So I started looking into it, and as I started learning more, then I was like, people actually do this. Like you can actually do this from anywhere. And it's just by the power of having a Wi-Fi connection and knowing what you're looking at. So once I understood that, that's when I was like, this needs to become a full-time thing for me. Because eventually I want to be able to go on a cruise. I'll be able to travel across the world and be able to still be making money for me to do that. And I understood the leveraging of having that type of freedom and still be able to make money. So that was the goal. And as I started learning more about it, that's when I was like, yeah, we need to make this happen. So that was huge for me.
That's an inspiring and relatable story. Like, so Walmart, when they hired you, like in the interview or like nowhere in the paperwork, they didn't say it was seasonal, or
they didn't. I'm thinking like, okay, this is Corona. People need jobs. Like y'all aren't hiring seasonal people. Y'all hiring people you just because you need it. People need jobs like to maintain life. And like
Wow.
probably 3 or 4 months later, they're just like, yeah, by the way, cut you off. Say,
You
get in
know,
the vest, give me a badge. We're gonna walk you to the front. I said, dude,
God
everyone's
damn.
gonna think I'm about to get arrested.
Wow.
Like, what is going on? But hey, it's part of the game, isn't it? Part of the game.
Apparently so. The reason I say that is because people can make a case that Elijah, you've been off the job market so long, you don't know what it's like, and I guess they're right. But I do remember like seasonal. I started at Amazon as seasonal. Then I eventually got converted to full time. Then I got promoted to PA. But technically, anytime at the seasonal, like if that didn't transfer into like a full time job, they would have let me go because it's seasonal. But they made it pretty clear that it's seasonal, and like people who are full time, they have blue badges, and the seasonals have like a white badge, and it have a white badge with a blue like square surrounding it. And people who are from a temp agency, they just have a pure white badge, and they're only there for like 30 days. So you knew what the situation was, so you can make some preparations. Like, okay, I gotta have a backup plan in case they don't offer me something.
Right.
But to hear. I guess this is why this job shit is not for me. I just couldn't live like that.
I know it. We're twinning once again. We're twinning once again. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Gotcha.
I will say, even after I understood the power of trading, clearly you need money to trade with. So I didn't mind getting a job to have money to fund accounts so I could be able to invest it. Like that was the whole reason I would go get a job. And I remember I was working at Jason's Deli for a little bit. Then I went to go work at Adidas. I was doing Uber. Like I was doing all types of stuff just to even be making money. And when I was working at Adidas, I actually enjoyed working there to a point that I was like, maybe I started going back into that worker mentality where I was like, maybe I could just stay here and like do part-time day trading. That way I can still get the Adidas benefits. I still meet cool people. I still got like this these coworkers and stuff like that. But I was like, that wasn't the goal. Like the goal
not the game plan
was to be a full-time trader. So I had to remind myself when I was even in that. And then, I had made a profit of 25,000 in 1 week. And I was like, oh yeah, this is why I did that. Yeah, let me go ahead and get out of here.
So your bank account reaffirmed the game plan.
Yeah, it sure did. It sure did. I said, oh yeah, that's right. Because now I'm coming in here and I'm about to make like 17 an hour, 18 an hour. I just made, yeah. So I definitely had that reassuring moment.
Got you. Here's some food for thought for the audience. Then we'll move on. But
okay,
one thing that people can do, like I think what you did, you used it to fund your endeavors, and that's smart. People don't have to get a job to fund their endeavors in the way they're thinking. You could approach these jobs as an independent contractor, like doing an interview process. You can make that known, and independent contractors don't have to get paid benefits or whatnot, so you're actually cheaper for the company. But because of that, you could probably, it takes some negotiation skills, but you could probably negotiate getting paid a little more because you're not going to be getting paid any benefits. Now, people might be wondering, isn't that the whole point of having a job is for the benefits? Well, if it's not in your game plan to have a job for like over 10 years or whatnot, it doesn't really matter. So if that's the case, why not pitch them on like, hey, I'm an independent contractor. The benefits thing, that's not part of this. Like, so you don't have to provide me benefits. But because of that, instead of 18 an hour, how about we talk about 20, 21 an hour? You'll still be cheaper for the company because employees are expensive. They really are expensive. Look into it.
Yeah, I've always heard that. Like they are expense, especially the more you have.
Yeah.
Just good to know. I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah. Like me, like my trader skill. Well, let me rephrase that. The skill I bring to the market, because I'm not a trader. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a video editor. I'm a freelancer. And even to this day, I have people who want me to edit their videos, and I'm to the point where I don't have to say yes, but sometimes they get on like Godfather, like Don Vito on me. I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Like, well, see, let me go ahead and make this money real quick.
Yeah,
I'm to put that money in my business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do. Handle some business.
Yeah. But speaking of trading, so what does a typical day look like for you? Like as I guess a full-time trader, but also, you have your business too. What does a typical day look like for you?
So I wake up. I wake up every day at 8 a.m. 8:01 a.m. actually. I did it on accident because whenever you set your alarm, the minute is already set. So I just kept it. So I wake up at 8 a.m. I analyze the market. Probably takes me about 15, 20 minutes max. Because I've already been looking at the same market over and over. So I already have an idea what I think is going to do. And then I'll end up, if I see a good setup, I'll end up taking the trade, get into it, and I'll call it out into my group chat. And then as I'm kind of in the trade, I'll go to the gym, I'll educate. So I'll read a book or maybe watch a YouTube video. Um, I will see what other plans I got today or for that day. So do I get calls? Do I got networking events that I need to go to? Like, what do I need to do to be like leveling up? That's really big for me. Do I need to make some more content? Do I need to reply to DMs? Do I need to do some more editing or posting on TikTok? Like, what does that look like? So it's a bunch of like kind of all over the placeness for me personally because I do so much. But I'm also like, okay, well, do we want to look at our like real estate projects and like expanding that? Like, what do we want to do? So there's a lot of grinding while I'm in the trade. And then as I'm looking at it, if it takes off or if it sells and it goes and plays out how I thought, then I just close the trade. And I would have made or lost money in that day. But I will say I take pride a lot in my success rate for the year. My year success rate or win rate has been like 82, 80, 85%.
Nice.
Um, which for me, it gives me a lot of confidence. So whenever I'm looking at the market, then I'm like, oh yeah, I know this is going to happen. And some people, they think that you have to sit here, you have to watch the market all day on your laptop just to make sure things go right. But for me, I'm just like, I can enter the trade and go live life, which is my goal.
Hmm.
And then I come back and I can look at my phone as I'm on the go or whatever, and then make money. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I know it's a lot of all over the placeness in my day. They kind of vary. So
Hmm.
yeah.
It makes sense. Um, so I would ask the follow-up question.
Okay.
As far as like the standard things that people are probably thinking about, like breakfast, like lunch, dinner, do those things tend to get moved around in your day, or do they usually happen around the same time? Because some people have that myth that
Yeah.
you mentioned where you're glued to this computer all day. When that's especially nowadays with this is a game changer.
100%.
Maybe 20 years ago, maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know, but nowadays, what would you say to that? Like, um, that your normal activities throughout the day, do they get moved around based on your trades or not really? They
Yeah.
stay stagnant.
They get more so moved around based on what I have going on in the day. So I might go to the gym, come home, and if I have a call or if I need to take a shower, then like I may eat later.
Gotcha.
But if I don't have nothing going on, then I'm like, let me grab a quick bite and then carry on with my day. So like stuff like that kind of varies. Or like lunchtime, dinner time. Yeah. But a lot of people, like you said, they do think you got to be glued. You don't. And like you said, having this, you basically got the power to leverage anything you want to do on this device, and you use it only for social media and calls and messaging. Like you could be making so much money on the go, rather
Yeah.
you have Wi-Fi or data. And people were just like, that seems too risky. I'm just gonna stick with what I got. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the phone, what's your opinion of? I don't want to call them like new platforms, but they're platforms that like if you type in on YouTube, this really, really like exploded around the pandemic. Maybe like 6 months before then, but like platforms like Webull and stuff like that, that
Mhm.
people say you can use to trade on that.
Mhm.
If someone is looking at getting started and they're gonna download like the Webull app, would you be indifferent towards it? Would you encourage them to do it, or would you be like, oh man, that stuff is too simple. Like you don't want to start this. Start with this. You'll have better stuff.
Yeah. So I haven't really used Webull to or like even what is that called? Robinhood? Is it Robinhood?
Yeah, that's probably the next most popular one.
Like one of those like normal trading or investing apps. I have never traded on those. I've always used brokers. So that's why even when I first started, I was using Hugo's Way. But for you to transfer money, you can always use Cash App or Coinbase because it's transferred through crypto. So you
Mhm.
always want to have at least one of those two. If you're about to get started, you're like, okay, I need to put some money somewhere so I can upload it to a broker. You're going to need one of those two anyway.
Mhm.
And I would recommend, ironically, using a broker. Genesis FX is great, or you could just find one that you feel is regulated and that you can trust as well.
Gotcha. We'll be sure to leave a link to the Genesis FX. That's what's called.
Yeah, yeah,
Genesis FX. We'll be sure to leave a link to that in the description. And we've already kind of talked about affiliate marketing, so there's another way to support both the Elijahs is by
indeed,
clicking on that link.
indeed. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So we haven't talked about this heavily, but you have a YouTube channel. Like, what
I do.
video on your YouTube channel do you feel like someone has to watch? Like, if they're going to get into day trading or they want to do this full time, what
Mhm.
video do you like most recommend that's on your channel right now that they should go check out?
I would say you guys should go check out the video where I tried to make 150,000 while I was on a cruise.
I knew it.
I gave myself, yeah. I mean, I he said I knew it. I would say go check that one out because a lot of people, again, you're like, well, what's the day in the life look like for a day trader? And for you to be on a cruise overseas, you're like, well, how do you still manage trading and making money? And so on that video, I keep it very transparent with you guys for what I'm looking at, the markets that I'm trading, how many entries I'm putting in, my profits, my losses, and just what it's like for the psychology side, the mentality side. Talk a little bit about the coursework, what's involved in that, the mentorship, business funding, like all different things that I think as a rather a beginner entrepreneur or a person that really wants to get into trading should go check out would be that one. And
Mhm.
150,000 in a week is not a small number for a lot of people. So that that should say a lot in itself.
So the title speaks for itself. The
Right.
description probably speaks for itself. And of course, the video speaks for itself too, right?
Indeed. So yeah, that's the video that I would say you guys should go check out. I also have a whole trading what is that called? Playlist where I've also talked about different things for trading that you guys can check out. Got a couple of videos on there. So that's where I would start.
Okay. Yeah, I think that video is very I think the editing was pretty good on that video. That's one of the things that
Thank
kind
you.
of stood out to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And
I
that's coming
appreciate
from
that.
someone who's a professional video editor, so y'all don't take that lightly.
Oh, child. From Elijah to Elijah. I appreciate that.
Hey, game recognized game.
I love that. I don't take that lightly. So
All
thank you,
right.
senor.
So my audience, they would probably kill me if I didn't ask this question because they always want me to ask it. But like, we
Okay.
got to talk about like the Benjamins. Now, in your case, I think it'll probably be hard to tell until maybe the end of the year when you get your tax paperwork. But people
Mhm.
want to know like, and this can include your business too. But like, how much do you make like monthly or like annually from doing this stuff full time?
So this year I've surpassed 7-figure mark annually, and I would say on a monthly basis, probably would say 6 figures is the I guess the average, and so I would say about that range right there between those, because yeah, this has probably been my biggest year yet. I'll say that, and most consistent, which is also why I'm like taking a lot of pride in finally getting to this point where I'm like, man, I'm doing. I've been blessed. We'll say it like that.
I was gonna say, watch in a few months you'll be on Shark Tank, but I can't say that because why would you need to go? You're already fine.
Indeed. What's up, y'all? I'm here to pitch my business idea. We got this and this. They also do products. They wouldn't do courses. So that'd be interesting too.
It would be, but I'm not gonna lie. Like Shark Tank, because I've seen it from the beginning. Like it used to be. Like, I got mad respect for you, Elijah, but I wouldn't want to see you on there for the simple fact that you've already like made it. Shark Tank used to be the place where, man, these struggling entrepreneurs, they're like in debt, but they still have a good idea, or maybe they just need an influx of cash. And you really get to see them. Some of them, they don't deserve the money because they don't have a plan. But the ones that do, like, they get the cash they need and then their business succeeds. And it's a beautiful thing to see. But the later seasons, people will start coming on there last. So we make about $10 million per year. And I want to offer y'all a 5% stake for $500,000. It's like, what are you doing there? Like, you don't need a shark. You're just there for the publicity. Like, come on, man.
He said, what are you doing there? Hey, man, I belong here, man. We need to expand. 10 million, 20 million.
In fact, Mark Cuban and Mr. Wonderful actually started to call this out. Like, so then what are you doing here?
Wow. Have they? I haven't even seen those.
Yeah.
And what would people say when they say, what are you doing here?
It's always some variation of, well, we want to go bigger. We want to go like nationally or maybe regionally if they are local. It's like, well, okay, I see you need an investor to expand, but you don't necessarily need a shark. Like the VC world, venture capitalist world exists. You could just be convincing like normal investors to invest in you. You don't need a shark. Because I feel like you're taking someone else's slot that their business is like barely hanging on and they really need that cash and potentially like mentorship from a shark. You're taking a spot from them when you don't really need. That's kind of how I feel about the later seasons. But, that's just my personal tangent.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen the most recent ones, so I haven't even come across those. I think the most I've probably heard is like we're making $500,000 a year doing this product, or maybe $1 million a year. Like I've heard that before, but
no, even that I would still say that falls under like the local person to a certain degree. It's when these cats are talking about I'm making like 10 million a year. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
I kind of mentally kind of zone out. Like you don't need to be there. But I digress.
He said you don't need to be there. It's so funny. He's like, man, let me just figure out something else to watch, man. I don't know why he even on there, man. Let me look at something else. Dude. It's funny, man. It's funny. I'm also I'm kind of curious. How long have you been doing was it Airbnbs, right? Like the arbitrage side?
Well, I would say let's say that because I'm going to ask you if you have any questions for me towards the end.
Okay.
I can answer that question, but yeah, let's put a pin in that.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
Yeah, but just so I can get off my Shark Tank tangent, because some people might be like, no, Elijah, come on, man, move on. Fair enough. All right, so one thing that was kind of big about this season is we're really focusing on lifestyle as person who's like self-employed, full-time, not working a job or whatever. And there's certain things like in society that it's standard for employees, but it plays out a little differently if you don't have a job. So, and one of those things is like, believe it or not, actually getting a mortgage or buying a house or even qualifying for like one of those higher tier apartments, like in uptown Dallas or downtown Dallas or whatnot. Right. So do you have like a house or an apartment?
Yeah, I have an apartment.
Got you. When you got into the apartment, was there anything, how to phrase this? How did you prove they have their requirements as far as income and stuff like that? Did you have any issues like getting approved to stay in the apartment?
No, I just had to show deposits into my account.
Right.
So they were able to see.
So you went with the bank statements.
Yeah, the bank statements. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think this is a mad teachable moment. Sometimes when we quit the job, we enter the world of self-employment. We may get stuck in survival mode, or we overlook these administrative things that like a job was doing for us, which is ironically actually keeping track of your income, getting pay stubs. And when you go to like apply for an apartment or something like that, a lot of times, just want to see the pay stub. The job is doing the work for you. But if that's not going to be there, well, they usually have a different process. Most of the time, it is going to be the bank statements. I used to live in uptown Dallas in the Weston Village area,
Okay.
and they required to show about 6 months worth of income. And I already keep all my stuff organized, so I was able to give them those bank statements because I already knew this is where I wanted to be probably about a year or two in advance. So I just want the audience to kind of keep that in mind. Like when you do leave the 9 to 5, you really need to be thinking about this stuff. And the simplest way is to really just have everything deposited into a one account. Then you can move money to other accounts as needed if you want to use different accounts for different things. But there's going to be a common like deposit point. So when it comes to qualifying for a house or qualifying for a higher tier apartment, you'll have what you need. But if it's all over the place in your accounts, that could get kind of messy. It starts to become like, well, do they want to work with you? Because they could just say, hey, it all needs to be in one place, and if it's not in one place, we'll just forget it. Like we're just gonna deny it. You don't want to be in that position.
That was a game changer for me too. I used to think everything should go into one personal bank account instead of a business bank account, and then keeping track of expensive and tax write-offs and all that stuff. So, yeah, that. I wish I heard about that when I first started.
Hey, that's why shows like this exist. So
Exactly.
the up and newcomers can know about this stuff ahead of time, so they can already have this plan. I mean, the same really applies for if you're going to get a house. Really, for the next 2 years, you want to start planning this out. So let's say if you want to get a house 3 to 5 years from now, you should start this like right now. Yeah. Even if, well, I'm not going to go into it heavy because I've done a show with someone else with a mortgage broker who talked about how to get approved for a mortgage in a house, etc. But it comes down to keep accurate records.
Duly noted. Yeah, that was pretty good when it came to applying for the apartment side. They're just like, yeah, we need to see the last, I think it was 3 months, 3 months or whatever, just a couple of months of income. I was like, got it. Oh, there you go. So yeah.
Cool. So I gotta ask you this question. I think you may have answered it, but it might be different. Like, how long has it been? How long have you been off the traditional job market scene?
For the past 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this because I actually didn't realize how much of a big deal it was until I did my first show with this podcast. When I told one of my friends that, hey, I'm starting a podcast, it's about 3 years ago, and I told him the premise, like, okay, I'll check it out. And my first episode was me doing this solo, and I kind of described like my journey of like, from when I covered how many jobs I had and why I decided to quit, then my self-employment journey. And he called me back about like 40 minutes later after he watched the episode. He's like, bro, you've only had 4 jobs your whole life? And I was like, well, yeah, what's the big deal? But
yeah.
Bro, like, I didn't have so many, like most people, they didn't have more than like 4 jobs. I was like, bro, you've heard me say this term, like I'm psychologically unemployable. Like I don't say that shit just to say it. I mean,
yeah.
So surprised I only had 4 jobs my whole life.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah, but I got to ask you, how many jobs have you had throughout your life?
Outside of Uber.
You can't count that. That's gig work.
Outside of Uber, we're twins. I worked at CC's, Walmart, Jason Deli, and Adidas. So those are my 4 jobs.
I'm telling y'all, it's a name. That name has certain attributes.
I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's possible. I've only worked at those 4. And here we are. Here we are, chat.
Gotcha.
So, people are surprised. That is a real thing, though. People always think you need like a lot of experience to rather make a lot of money or something. But because I know people that's like, yeah, man, I used to work at Amazon and I did, Walmart, then I did Target, then I did this and that and this and that. I'm like, man, why are you working at all these jobs anyway? Like I get it for like your resume, maybe experience and people, like maybe skills, but I'm like, why are we at 10 jobs? What's going on? Why can't we hold a job? What's going on? That sounds like more of a concern, man.
Yeah. Especially when all of them are kind of like the same job. It's not like
Right.
it's a different job. Like if you worked at Home Depot, it's like, well, you can actually learn some stuff there. That's actually kind of different. You gotta learn a lot of blue collar stuff. Like, yeah, but like most of the in the service industry or retail, it's like they're essentially the same thing. Just yeah, the same thing.
Just stocking and inventory, maybe pick up orders, like checkout lines. It's all the same.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would ask you, like, what's the biggest challenge that you've encountered being a day trader, but also in your mentoring business when it comes to like work life balance? What's the biggest challenge you encountered?
When it comes to work life balance, well, that's a good question. That's a good question. I think it's trying to find the time to make sure I'm catering to every person I'm working with, because in my head I always have the same like mentality. Like you're investing into me, so I want to make sure I can invest into you to help you get to where you need to get to. Um, and because I'm so big on mentality, I'm always thinking about, okay, well, am I doing enough for these people that I'm doing, and then or that I'm working with, and then am I also being able to pour into myself? Because I feel like I always look at myself like a fountain. Like, okay, you're always pouring out, but are you getting poured into? So for me, as a mentor, I'm always pouring out. That I'm like, okay, for myself, for my own personal life, am I doing things that's pouring into me? Do I have people that's pouring into me? And so I would say probably my biggest challenge would come down to understanding that balance, because I feel like I'm always such a giving person. That's why I became a mentor. That I'm like, what does life look like if I want to pour back into myself and like work on different things? That was very huge for me. And I would find myself like being super exhausted or being burnt out because I'm doing so much. And that's what I had to learn. So that's probably one of the biggest challenges I had to learn, doing that and dedicating time to, I'll say.
Okay. So you have this huge list of people that you're serving, but we have to remind ourselves that sometimes we're leaving ourselves off that list, and we can't do that. Because
Right.
if we burn out, then everyone that we're serving is not, they'll be without us. And that'd be a
Exactly.
problem.
Exactly. I didn't really understand that. Didn't really understand that. I was like, well, I'll just show up. But I can't show up the best way I need to if I can't show up for myself. So yeah, that was a huge lesson. Huge lesson I had to learn.
Right. And
So
would you say that that's your biggest challenge, even outside of work life balance, just like the biggest challenge in your business? Would that also be the biggest challenge, what you said, or would it be something different?
now I say it's something different. I think I get a lot of criticism based on what I do now, because a lot of people will have that title of like, oh, I wouldn't have thought that you'd be a scammer, or you have a business because you don't actually make money off of trading, so you make money off of mentorships. Um, people that just doubt the process in general. There's no way you're actually making that much money while you're on a cruise. There's no way you're making that much money while you're just sitting at your house, and I'm over here working a job, clocking in. Like, there's no way. I have a lot of doubt and stuff like that. And I've had previous friendships that I had to let go
Oh,
because they were like, yeah, I don't know if I can really rock with you while you're trying to do this trading stuff. I said, that's fine. But eventually you will spin the circle and you'll be like, man, yeah, I think I should have learned that when you was trying to get into it. I've had a couple of those stories already. Used to get name called. I used to be called Forex boy.
oh my gosh.
My cousin would call me Forex boy because I would always be so dedicated to learning Forex. No matter where we went, no matter what we did, I was like, oh, let me look at the charts. I used to be called clearly a scammer. I mean, I've just been called a couple things, man. I just had to learn, like, okay, well, this is what my goal is. This is what I need to do and overcome. And now that I'm in my position, now they're like, hey, so I need to learn this trading stuff because I don't want to work forever. Oh my, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. But I still, thank God, I have a relationship with God that I'm like, you know what, man? I forgive you. I understand. It's just a lack of understanding and knowledge. So I'm willing to work with you and help you. But not everybody's like that. They're like, no, you doubted me from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to go. But I'm just like, nah, man, I'll help you out. I'll help you out. So yeah, that was my biggest challenge, was a lot of doubt.
That's powerful. Yeah, I find it interesting that both of the challenges, one with work-life balance, then one is just like the overall challenge you've encountered in your business. Both of them circle back to like basically social stuff. And the reason I find that interesting, well, there's a few reasons. First, the word name Elijah literally means messenger. Y'all can look that up. So I find that interesting that that's such a, you take that so seriously, because that's kind of the core theme that I'm hearing in both of those. Like, you really want to serve people, and are people going to criticize you because of their limited mindset? Skeptics and cynics are going to be skeptics and cynics. It is what it is. Until you reach a certain area, that's when it starts to turn around by default. And then you have the option of, you would probably have every right to say, well, you wanted to cut off this relationship, you did, so have fun over there. But no, you still make yourself available if they do want to come back around. That's pretty admirable.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yes, it wasn't a easy thing at the beginning, because it's like, you the person that like spat in my face and I just had to sit there and wipe it off. And now you're like, oh, now you're coming back and you're like, hey man, I got a towel now. I want to do you right now. And I'm like, do I reciprocate, or do I turn the other cheek and just be the gift that you need me to be? So, and let God use me. So yeah, that was a big challenge. That was a big challenge. I'm very big on impact too. Like that's literally like my word. I have it right here on my vision board. Is like impact, impact, impact. Because everything I do, I want to impact people. So even in business and trading and content and networking events, just whoever I meet with, I want that impact to be like, dang, when I met Elijah, both of them, they had an impact that I just can't forget. Like I just remember that interaction, and that's powerful for me.
Got you. It's funny because we did meet at a networking event, and we ended up at the same table. I think everyone at that table, well, I don't know because I can't read their minds. I'm just going to go off of what I'm seeing. I think we left a strong impression on everyone at that table.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. I would definitely say so.
Yeah. I would say we're going to start winding down in a sec, but have you ever encountered a situation where it was challenging to get something done because you're a full-time business owner or because you're self-employed?
No, I wouldn't say so. If anything, it gave me more time and resources to do it because I have the freedom to make my own schedule.
Could you give
especially being a day trader.
Could you give us an example of something that was actually easier to do because you're self-employed then?
We can go for my sister's graduation. Some people it's like, oh, I gotta call off, and I gotta see if I can show up, and because especially around graduation time, there's always people that's like, okay, well, next week is my sister's graduation, and then you got 10 other employees that got the same thing. So instead of me having to be like, hey, can I request these days off? I'm just like, oh, okay, well, like, yeah, I'll be there. I can make that time. And if it really tied in with my business stuff, then the most that I have to do is be like, hey, Elijah, I know we had a call at 12, but I'm going to be at, my sister's graduation. Let's reschedule for another time. And so it gives me that flexibility and that availability for me to do what I want to do.
I can relate to that.
I mean, if I still want to be making money, then I'm at the graduation on my phone. still making money. You know what I'm saying?
When
So
you
like,
put that
if
in
that's the case.
context, I'm not disregarding anyone else's graduation, but we're all there for a loved one, right?
Mhm.
And being technical, we're not talking about the graduation party, which is usually afterwards, but like sitting there for the actual graduation, there are X amount of people that the ceremony gets through before they get to your loved one for that, like, 60 seconds, like 2 minutes of fame for them. And
Yeah.
you're going to be fully invested when that happens. But what the heck do you do before and after that?
Mhm.
Well, if you're Elijah M, you're going to be,
Yep.
making money.
Looks like a good setup, man. I'm gonna go ahead and take that trade.
Yeah,
Yep.
like you have hey, mom, just nudge me when sis is about to get up on the stage.
Mhm.
Then you put the phone away. Then you're fully invested. And
Yep.
once he gets off and sits back down, okay,
Alright.
he's in the middle of the alphabet. All right, pick this back up.
Yep. Mhm. Yep.
I can relate to that because I'm not a trader, but
Yeah.
I was there for both my nephew and my niece's graduation.
Mm.
And there are people that weren't able to be there because they had to work, and that just wasn't my situation at all. I was able to be there. I was able to be there for the graduation party. I really love the fact that if something like that comes up for family or friends, it's not a question of like, oh, will I be able to be there? No, I can be there.
Yeah.
I can be there.
Yeah. The power of entrepreneurship does give you your time back.
And the biggest thing is not only can I be there, but I'm not going to lose money for being there. Like if you do have to take off from work, you have to give up PTO, or if you don't have any PTO, you're using UPT, so you're not getting paid. So that's going to impact your budget for that week. Like,
That's true.
man, I can be there, and I'm not going to be losing anything
Correct.
at all.
Correct. That's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
I could actually take that a step further. Anytime you go to anything social, you have something to offer people. So you may actually make money just for having a conversation with someone.
Because you never know who you meet.
Yep.
I always keep this in the back of my head. Whenever I go to a networking event, I used to go with my boy, and him and we'd be working the room. Came to a point where he would be working, and there's networking events during the day. And I was like, okay, well, I still want to go to them because I still want to meet people. I want that expansion and the opportunity. So how am I going to overcome the social anxiety of working the room? And the thing that really stuck out to me, I was like, someone in here needs to meet me. Not in a selfish way, but like there's someone in here that needs to meet me. And so whenever I meet people, I'm like, okay, I met Elijah. I think we needed to meet each other. It's not like, oh, I needed to meet Elijah. This person is great. This thing is like phenomenal. It's like, it's like we needed to meet each other, and just going from there. So that's what helped me like overcome that social anxiety side of it when I go to those type of places, and then it helped my mentality. So I'm not like so stuck on being nervous and scared when I meet people, because you never know who needs to meet you.
Oh, that's a good point. It's also a very powerful way of looking at it. So were you always that way, or did you have to kind of grow into that type of person through your journey as being a full-time entrepreneur? A little of both.
I was gonna say I've always been a social person, a person that doesn't mind having conversation and like having intellectual conversation. Not what's your favorite color and let's talk about the weather. But I've also never been like, let me just go.
I think that makes us both look bad because we were talking about the weather a while back.
Like, man, that's true. That's true. But no, I'm just more of I'm not much of an approacher type of person.
Oh, gotcha.
I can hold a conversation if a person's talking to me, but I'm not going to know how to interact and start the conversation. So I had to learn that role and understand, like, whenever I meet people, there's a certain way to like introduce yourself and like talk about this and that, talk about them. Like, there's certain levels to the conversation that you can hold outside of just being approached. It also helps in the dating life a little bit because I used to do social experiments where I would literally go and do certain things for content reasons to also overcome that social anxiety. Because a lot of guys, a lot of people in general are scared to just talk to people. I'm like, man, people love to be talked to. Just go talk to them.
Well, yeah, especially here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I remember a chick, she told me one time she couldn't actually believe I was from here. And I asked her why. She said, well, guys here don't approach. They're like wallflowers. Like anytime a guy's approached me, he's never been from here. Like, I can honestly believe it. So you used to be, let me try and describe what you used to be, and you can tell me if I'm right.
Okay.
You'll be that person that you may not necessarily go out and start a conversation, but if someone starts a conversation with you, they'll probably have one of the most impactful, engaging conversations they've ever had.
Correct.
Gotcha. So once you started to do the approaching yourself, obviously the same thing still applies. They're gonna have that engaging, like memorable conversation. It's like, oh, by default, it's gonna get amplified because I'm the one approaching now instead of being approached all the time.
Correct.
Gotcha. So I feel like you've kind of teased both me and the audience about the social experiment. Can you give an example of like one of these social experiments you did in the past?
So I've done a couple social experiments. The first one I did, I would just hold my camera and I would literally walk around a social, like I would go out somewhere on a Saturday night, like a club type of experience or like a rooftop type of experience and just be vlogging. At first, that's what it was going to be. And then people would come up and be like, hey, let me get in the vlog real quick. Oh, okay, like let me shout myself out. Hey, my name's Elijah. I work at AT&T. I'm doing this and this, like whatever. And I'm like, oh, people really attract to the camera. People love media. And so then I was like, well, let me make this a little bit fun. So I just sat in one spot, started holding my camera, and I was like, kind of like, vlogging around, and groups of people. I was with my boy, and so him and I, we would just people would walk up. Are you guys vlogging? Oh, let me get in it. Hey, let me shout myself out. And then while they're shouting themselves out or whatever, I would be like, oh, well, I gotta send this to you. And I'd be like, you be on Instagram, like, let me get your number or whatever. And there sometimes would be groups of girls. And so that, like, a lot of guys, they have anxiety, like, oh, there's a whole group of girls. What do I say? Are they gonna accept me? Or am I gonna say something wrong? Like, hey man, you just learn how to adapt to the moment. But it started with the social experiment. Of just meeting random people. And they all, not all, but a lot of people really gravitated to the camera. And so I did that a couple of times. And yeah, you just never know. Again, you never know who you meet, all because they're used to being on the camera because they already do content, or they just like seeing themselves on a camera. And they do other stuff. So I met some pretty cool people through that. I actually really enjoyed doing content or enjoy doing the social experiments. I need to do more of them.
Well, it sounds like fun.
You said what?
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. So.
Okay. Well, we're about to hit the hour mark. So I imagine you got a few more calls you got to knock out before the end of the day. But I always ask my guests if they have any questions they want to hit me with. I know you already hit me with one of them. You want to know how long I've been doing the Airbnb arbitrage game?
Yeah.
Since 2021. Yeah.
Okay.
2021. Originally I wanted to get involved in traditional real estate because the game plan with the whole YouTube thing, eventually you're going to get monetized and that's going to be extra money and that's great. But some people, like, they get monetized on YouTube and then they start making money and that's great. But they don't ever diversify. They don't look at other ways to make money with their channel, or they don't think about funneling that money into actual assets. So if something happens to your channel, which let's just say YouTube woke up on the wrong side of the bed and decides to demonetize you for whatever reason, you're quite literally screwed. Yeah. So I never saw the ad revenue as like, oh, this is all it's going to be. No, I literally took that ad revenue and I wanted to invest in something. So I saved it up and I was going to invest it in traditional real estate. But when the pandemic happened, I didn't really know enough about real estate at the time to know like what's a good deal, what's a bad deal, like all that stuff. But then I was looking into it and I saw that the short-term rental game could actually be a good way to make some money in the meantime until this real estate market kind of goes back to something that's more learnable, et cetera. So I got involved in a rental arbitrage. I was able to negotiate my first deal with a landlord that has a series of multifamily apartment complexes. So I started with one apartment, and then I didn't take any money out of the business. I just it tended to cash flow about $600 to $1,000 per month net, and it costs about $4,000 to $5,000 to furnish a studio apartment. That's what I deal in. So once that would build up to about $4,000, I would get another apartment and just repeat the process, except for it's 2 apartments now, so it's going to get it faster. So it just kept growing and growing and growing. That's how I got involved with that.
I've always heard that like you need a permit for that too, right? Is that true?
Actually, no. It depends on your market. So if there's local short-term rental regulations, there may be a permit that you need, and you might need to sign up with the local laws. In the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there actually isn't one right now. Well, in Arlington, there is. Arlington.
Okay.
And you can only do it about a mile away from the stadium. So 1 mile radius from the stadium. But outside of that, short-term rentals are actually a ban. But like Dallas, Fort Worth, like all that, you don't need a permit currently. Ironically, there is some kind of short-term rental ban that's trying to happen. But there's a local organization that's been pushing back on it, hired a lobbyist to fight it, and it's been going their way. So what will end up happening is probably a reasonable set of regulations will pass where you probably will just need a permit and you need to follow certain things. So that's probably coming, but right now, no permit needed.
Okay. Because I know with me, I was trying to get into it when I was looking at some research. It was like for you to have a property, you need a permit to do it. But then I've also seen some where it's like you get someone that finds properties and then you pay a finder's fee, and you talk to the landlord, you kind of go from there and negotiate. So I haven't like gotten too much on that side of it. That's why I was curious what those steps like as a beginner look like and all that type of stuff.
First, you need to decide what needs do you want to deal in apartments or houses, because they're 2 different approaches.
Apartments. Let's start there.
Okay. First, you need to find a landlord that would be open to this arrangement. Usually, the smaller landlords, and basically pitch them on corporate housing, and that's actually a pretty known thing, corporate housing. But you can make it known that you also part of your strategy is you do put them on OTAs, which is Airbnb, Vrbo, that kind of stuff. And you do some short-term rentals to fill in the gaps between your corporate housing. And once they know that, just make sure in the lease it has a sublease agreement, and it specifically says that you can put the apartment on Airbnb, on Vrbo, etc. Usually they want something for that. I negotiated a flat fee, but don't ever negotiate a piece. Okay. Like some people like, oh, we want like 15 or 20% of earnings. No, don't negotiate a piece of your earnings, because if you make a lot of money, so do they. Like give them a flat fee. Right. Okay, like look, the main pitch is, especially during the pandemic, like your occupancy rate is like in the low 70s right now. You're losing money, okay? I can pick up like 10 units from you like right now, but not only do I want that, but you can actually negotiate probably a few weeks or maybe even the first month's rent on each unit for free, because once they get their occupation rate back up, then they can qualify to get a bigger loan to build the next multifamily complex. That occupation rate is much more valuable than them worrying about like this stuff. You got to present it that way.
Gotcha. Those are for apartments, right?
Yeah.
And so I know certain apartments, they don't even allow it. So how do you kind of negotiate allowing, or like kind of talking to them so that they can allow it?
Yeah, usually if they don't allow it, I tend to just avoid them.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you really wanted to, you basically use the corporate housing approach, and you basically say the same thing, but you're going to get some pushback on the like, oh, do you do short-term rentals? We don't allow short-term rentals. We also don't allow you to like put it on Airbnb or whatever.
Gotcha.
Those tend to get very amendable the more units you're picking up. So you're picking up like under 5. That's when they'll probably have 5 units rented by the end of like a month or two. So like, why are they going to give you that? But if you're picking up like 10 or more, it's like, well, let me call the person above me. Like, let me see if we can, because that occupation rate, that's going to make a dent in the occupation rate for the better. So the more you're picking up, the more flexible they tend to be. The problem is most people, they call, hey, do y'all do Airbnbs? No, we don't. Okay, bye. And it's just as simple as that. Or if they go a step further, they're only picking up like 1 or 2. Does that really sound like a good deal for the complex?
Yeah,
no. So make it be a good deal for them. But you got to have a lot of money to do that, though. I mean, you got to have the money to furnish these apartments, and most of the people won't have enough money to pick up multiple.
Right.
But that's where the bargaining power is, when you can pick up multiple.
Okay. Yeah, I know you got a whole series of getting into the Airbnb space, so I need to check out those videos myself. I don't want to hold nobody over. But what's it called? Yeah, I need to, because I want to get into that. That's my next project space. So that's something I'm looking to get into.
All right. Speaking of get into, before we hop off, where can people get more of you? Whether it be your business website, YouTube, etc.
Yeah. So all of my socials are King Malone, as it's spelled right here. And my business website is Alpha FRX. So that's exactly the spot right there. That's where you guys can check out the mentorships. Sometimes I do giveaways, as in like giving out free courses. And I keep all of that stuff on my Instagram. So if you guys want to check that out, then that's where you can find all that good stuff.
Cool. Well, Elijah, it's been a pleasure. I think people can definitely tell that. And you dropped a lot of good game, not just in trading and not in for your business, but also social dynamics, I'll say. I think a lot of people learn from that perspective too, which we can't get enough of, especially in a day and time where everyone is on this.
Yeah.
I think we all could use some bonus and social skills as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, man.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you having me on here, man. Appreciate everybody for watching, for tuning in, for making it this far. And yeah, man, go ahead. Take it away. Go ahead, Elijah. Wrap up the Elijah show for today.
Hey, Elijah's know how to close. That's why his default was to start it.
Exactly.
But yeah, everyone, if y'all can give this video or the show a thumbs up, really helps the algorithm wherever you're watching it, whether it be YouTube or Facebook, etc. And if you enjoyed this show in particular, feel free to leave us a review. Tell us your thoughts. What was your favorite part of the show? And don't forget to subscribe if you're new on YouTube. Really helps us out, especially since we're going to be diving heavy into just the life of people who are self-employed in general in this season. Because y'all are telling me, I'm looking at the data, y'all really like it when we talk about full-time, even though we're the Side Hustler Society. Y'all want to know what the full-time life actually looks like. And that's great. So we're going to make sure y'all get that content. That being said, this is Elijah Bilel, and it's been Elijah Malone too. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Be safe, be profitable, everyone, and we'll catch y'all in the next show.
This episode may be over, but your hustling journey has just started. Visit thesidehustlersociety.com to access all links and resources mentioned in the show that will help you on your hustler's journey.